Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we have the Premier League Game Week 16 predictions. Just want to say before we get into the video, these are being filmed before the midweek games that are coming up, so all of these results are accurate to the week before, and none of the midweek results as I don't know them yet. And also, before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we have loads and loads of content coming out. These are coming out. We have a Tottenham versus Burnley preview. We have Champions League predictions for the last game in the group stages coming out with Philip. Favourite 20 career man's going to be coming out, Carabao Cup predictions, and also the FA Cup predictions will be coming out over Christmas. The draw was made last night as I'm recording this, so subscribe to the channel. Loads and loads of content coming out this month. But yeah, there was a few upsets in the week just gone. These percentages that are on the screen sort of up there, they are accurate to last week. So the midweek games, as I said, are not accurate. But a lot of shock results. I mean, Everton nearly getting a draw against Leicester, Man City drawing, Chelsea losing to West Ham. So yeah, I've taken that all into consideration along with the midweek games with these predictions. So the first game is Everton versus Chelsea, a tricky game. Everton play Liverpool tomorrow, Chelsea play Aston Villa tomorrow. This is a tricky game going to Goodison Park. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Tammy Abraham still out injured. And I feel like Everton has something to play for, really. They are fighting to keep Marco Silva, but they're fighting to avoid being in a relegation battle after Christmas. And they played well against Leicester, and I think that's going to be a boost to them. I think they played well against Liverpool, but I think they're going to get a draw here. I'm going with a 1-1 draw against Chelsea, which is good. Chelsea also on a downhill run, and Chelsea maybe take a bit of a back step in this game, knowing that in the Champions League they have to win in order to go through to the knockout stages, or they're playing in the Europa League after they got the 2-2 draw in Spain against Valencia. So I think maybe a bit of a back step, and I'm going with a 1-1 draw here. Now Bournemouth versus Liverpool. And similar to the Chelsea game, I feel like Liverpool might take a bit of a back step because they are in serious danger. They play Salzburg away in the Champions League, and if they lose, then they're playing Europa League football now. The champions of Europe at the moment, they're not going to want that. So I think they're going to take a bit of a back step, maybe put out a weaker team against Bournemouth, which could backfire. But on the other hand, they are 11 points clear in the league, so they can get away with losing the game possibly. I do think they're going to have enough to win. They've got that winning mentality. I'm going with a 2-1 narrow win for Liverpool. Now Tottenham versus Burnley. I'm not going to say too much. Most of this game will be covered in the preview that's coming out later on today at 3 o'clock, so make sure you keep an eye on the channel for that. The scoreline I'm going with though is 3-1 to Tottenham. Now Watford versus Crystal Palace. Watford are in a bit of a shit situation really. They've sacked their second manager of the season and they're looking for a replacement until the end of the season, and I think that's going to have a massive effect on them. They're doing really poor at the moment in the league, and Crystal Palace, they're playing okay. Zaha has bagged a couple of goals in recent games, and I think that's going to continue. I'm going with a 2-0 Crystal Palace win here. Also, good luck to whoever gets a Watford job, because it's going to be tough to turn that around. And now the game of the weekend is the Manchester derby, one that I'm looking forward to myself. Is Manchester City, the champions, taking on Manchester United, the blue side of Manchester against the red side of Manchester, and I think this is going to be a really tasty game. In recent history, there's been a few upsets, you could say, with Man United getting the win. I think back to Pogba getting the 2 headers against Man City to win 3-2. There's a clear difference in the teams, the team sheets. Man City having the stronger team but the weaker defence. Man United haven't really got a decent team, you could say. It's all over the shop. Pogba doesn't look like he's going to be back. Solskjaer said it in his interview. He said he's not going to be back this week, so he could be on the bench maybe, I'm not sure. This game though, I'm going with a 3-2 Man United win. I think there's going to be a bit of a curveball this season, and Guardiola, I think he's going to be gone at the end of the season regardless. I've said it for quite a while now, I think he's going to be gone. And Man United, you know, it's a derby game, and Solskjaer knows all about these derby games against Manchester City. Granted, he did lose the one towards the back end of last season, but at the Etihad Stadium, Solskjaer knows all about it. And I think he's going to put together a tactical game plan to get a 3-2 win. Maybe go 2-0 down and then come back and win 3-2. Throwing another curveball, and Man City going 14 points behind Liverpool in the race for the title. Definitely putting them out of it. And catchable for other teams like Man United, like Tottenham and Arsenal in the race for Champions League. Now moving on to Sunday's games, we have an interesting game in Aston Villa versus Leicester. This is a good game on paper. Aston Villa, they got a 2-2 draw against Man United, really deserved. And Leicester, 96th minute winner or something with Kelechi Iheanacho. VAR saying that he was onside. I personally think he was offside. Now I've seen a stat saying that Leicester have the best defence in the league, and with that I'm going with a 2-0 Leicester win. I think it's going to be an interesting game, a tight game, but Leicester with Jamie Vardy, Maddison, Tielemans having enough to get the quality and get 2 goals and winning 2-0 at Villa Park. Now Newcastle versus Southampton, 2 teams that have really come alight in recent weeks. Newcastle getting a 2-2 draw against Man City on the weekend. What a game that was, 2 cracking goals in the game. John Joe Shelby getting the point for Newcastle, and Southampton beating Watford, getting a draw against Arsenal. I think they're going to possibly draw against Norwich, and now coming into this game against Newcastle, I think it's a winnable game for either team, but I look at form and I look at players on form, and Danny Ings stands out, and I think Danny Ings is going to get the sole goal and a 1-0 win for Southampton. Now Norwich versus Sheffield United, I think it's a bit of an interesting game really. Norwich drew 2-2 against Arsenal on the weekend, and Sheffield United kept their unbeaten run away from home intact with the 1-1 draw against Wolves. I think Sheffield United are going to stay undefeated away from home. I'm going with a 3-1 win for Sheffield United, who are playing really, really well at the moment. And Brighton versus Wolves, I think this has got a draw written all over it. Wolves have come alight, but they're up and down really in terms of wins and draws. I'm going with another draw. I'm going with a Desmond 2-2. And now Monday Night Football is West Ham taking on, at the moment, Freddie Ljungberg's Arsenal team. Now this is a game for both teams to bounce back from recent fixtures. West Ham have sort of bounced back after beating Chelsea 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, and now they play Arsenal. Arsenal are just really bad at the moment, and I think it's going to continue really. It's a Monday night game, so there's never really many goals, I've said it before, and I think West Ham are going to get a 1-0 win, another clean sheet for the 33-year-old that's in goal for West Ham. That's if Fabianski isn't back, but the West Ham keeper had a decent game against Chelsea. I think Arsenal's woes are going to continue. I mean, Aubameyang shushing a retaken penalty against Tim Krul and 19th place Norwich when you're drawing 2-2 really does show that you're a bit of a twat. But yeah, I'm going with another loss for Arsenal, and maybe it is time for them to get a new manager after this game, if/when they lose this. These are my predictions for the weekend. Comment yours down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.